Okay, so this one's like really cool. You're definitely going to want to hear this. We have, for the first time ever, insiders explaining what the plan is going to be for Robert Downey Jr. This explains how they plan to build up this character from not existing at all in the Marvel Cinematic Universe to being the coolest and most badass villain we've ever seen, potentially even cooler than Thanos.
It's false. No way. Not this time.
And I'm telling you guys, as a big time nerd, as a super sweaty comic book reader, all of this stuff sounds chef's kiss. Now, a lot of the information we're going to talk about in this video comes from Alex Perez and the Cosmic Circus. We talk about them a lot. They're very reliable, and they do a lot of these Discord Q&As where they grab up a bunch of questions from their Discord and then answer them in a big article. And I think these articles are great. You should go read the Discord Q&As on the Cosmic Circus to get all the details and see exactly what they said. But I'm going to summarize some very important questions from the last couple of Q&As that have to do with this Doctor Doom plan. First off, there is a plan. They have a plan, and they've had a plan for a while. In one of the questions, Alex is directly asked about movement on this plan. And I think there's just a ton of questions here where the perception is Marvel's pivoting rather quickly, and there's a lot of concern. Like, have they figured this out? Do they have a plan? Do they know how this is going to work? And Alex says that they do. They have a plan. They are polishing some details. They're reworking some things and just adjusting small things. But the overall outline for how this is going to be built up, what is going to happen in Doomsday, and what is going to happen in Secret Wars is there. They have the plan. Now, with regards to that plan, there came a question about the Avengers, and I think this is really a fair question too. A lot of us are wondering, what's the deal with the Avengers? Are they going to assemble before Doomsday? Like, are we going to have an Avengers team there that's like ready when Doomsday happens? And Alex's answer is really interesting. He says that the Avengers will be together and know that there is a big threat out there, although they're not exactly sure what that threat is. They do, however, begin to prepare for that threat. Now, in another question, Alex is asked about the Kang to Doom difference, right? They were building up Kang. Kang's in the background, the Council of Kangs, Loki Season 2, Loki Season 1. They're establishing He Who Remains in Kang. And Alex is asked how similar the buildup for Doctor Doom is going to be, or like, how's that going to work? Like, what the and Alex's answer is simple. He just says Rabum Alal. In fact, I think his exact answer was, I have two words for you, Rabum Alal. Now, Rabum Alal is a name that puts a smile on my freaking face. This is a comic book character known as the Great Destroyer. He's a godlike being that was worshipped by the Black Swans and feared by many people out there in the multiverse. We're going to talk more about Rabum Alal, trust me, because it's awesome, but something you gotta understand here is that this character is eventually revealed to be Doctor Doom. It was a crazy moment in comics. Everybody was like, who is the Great Destroyer? What is this gonna end up being? And then it was Doctor Doom. And man, that was wild, dude. I remember reading that, and the reason it was so crazy is because, like, Doctor Doom's barely in the story. He's not really involved in Avengers and New Avengers for like years, and then all of a sudden you realize the big bad character, this dude they've all been talking about for years, is actually Doctor Doom. It was Victor the whole time. But hold on to that thought, because there are two more questions that Alex answered that we need to talk about. They are really important to tying this whole thing together. First up, he is asked once again about Doom and about the sudden change and how they will manage to build up RDJ Doctor Doom with a satisfying story. And Alex's answer is so important that I'm going to read it verbatim from the article. He says, I want to start by saying I'm so glad that you asked this. I was initially concerned about how they would take a character that has barely established presence in a Fantastic Four movie to become the biggest villain of the arc in less than a year. But if they go for what they want to do with Doom in this movie, they'd have a fantastic explanation that not only sets him up perfectly for when we see him in Doomsday, but also places him in a position where he can easily become one of the most justifiable antagonists in Marvel. Maybe even more so than Thanos. If you really want to know why in Latveria the flowers die in the summer, then you'd already know where to look. And oh my God. That tease at the end with the flowers dying in the summer in Latveria, that is a direct reference to New Avengers 33, which was the issue that explained Doctor Doom as Rabum Alal and showed what he had been doing in the multiverse and the truth behind the incursion. But hold on to that thought. There's one more question we got to go over. It's going to tie this whole thing together. Oh my God, this is so juicy. Now, in this question, Alex is being asked about what team-ups or pairs he is excited to see, right? This was a thing in Infinity War. We had some really, really interesting team-ups. Like, first of all, Nebula and Tony Stark. That was really interesting. Rocket, Raccoon, Groot, and Thor, another awesome team up. And Alex's answer is really interesting. He says, that I know of, Benedict Cumberbatch as Dr. Stephen Strange with Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Victor Von Doom will shatter universes. This will feature some of the most important sequences in the multiverse saga. Now he goes on to talk about like Thor and Deadpool and how that was teased in the movie. And of course he's excited to see Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman Wolverine together, and who wouldn't be? That's gonna be freaking awesome, right? But Stephen Strange and Doctor Strange shattering universes together, I don't think Alex is being figurative there. I think he's being literal. Like, I think Doctor Doom and Doctor Strange are literally going to destroy universes together, and those will be some of the most important sequences in the multiverse saga. And this has to do with Rabum Alal and New Avengers 33, which is something that Alex was teasing. So let me explain what happens in New Avengers 33, and then I'll explain how Marvel Studios is going to adapt this all and why it's so badass. So in this run, in the Game of Worlds, everybody's trying to figure out how to stop the incursions. Okay, now the incursions occur on Earth, meaning two universes collide, and the place that they collide is Earth. So a portal will open up between these two universes. That's literally what they call the incursion. And then the Earths collide towards each other. Now, if one of the Earths is destroyed, the incursion stops. Both universes are fine. But if both Earths collide and destroy each other, both universes are destroyed. This is why it was called the Game of Worlds, because all kinds of different groups, entities, or people were going around the multiverse destroying worlds, always Earth, in order to stop incursions. Okay, so basically at some point in that story, Dr. Stephen Strange has exhausted all of his resources. He's messing with crazy ancient books that are even more demonic than the Darkhold. He actually gets the weird third eye thing, which is something that Kind of Culty just brought up in a video, which I thought was freaking excellent. You should definitely be checking out Culty's videos. But this all leads to a scenario where Stephen Strange goes out into the multiverse on his own. He doesn't even tell the members of the Illuminati. He's just like, I'm out. I'm going to go try to fix this on my own. And he becomes the ruler of an organization called the Black Priests. They were these crazy sorcerers that wore these gold helmets. They used a really weird kind of magic with ancient words that people like didn't know about. That's neither here nor there. I just think it's kind of dope. And so Doctor Strange is leading the Black Priests, and they're going around the multiverse destroying Earths at scale, like doing some real damage. Okay, now they find out that Rabum Alal, the Great Destroyer, is in a certain place called the Library of Worlds. And all you really need to know about the Library of Worlds is that it's a place outside of space-time. It can witness the Beyondverse and the Omniverse. It's like the space between the known multiverse and everything that's beyond, where the Beyonders come from. And so the Black Priest and Doctor Strange, they attack Rabum Alal in this place, but they are destroyed. It ended up being a trap, and Rabum Alal and all of the Black Swans obliterate the Black Priest. They kill them all except for Doctor Strange. And this is when it's revealed that Rabum Alal is actually Doctor Doom. And Doctor Doom tells Stephen Strange what he has been doing. And I also just want to say, because I think it's really nerdy and really cool, that this explanation is told partially in New Avengers 33, but it's also explained in Secret Wars issue number 5. And Secret Wars issue number 5 just happens to be the comic that was shown in the first Deadpool and Wolverine trailer on Battleworld. It's like Kevin Feige Feige and Marvel Studios wants us really sweaty nerds to be on the up and up. It's like he's giving us the clues, man. We kind of know what's happening here, right? So in New Avengers 33, Doctor Doom explains to Stephen Strange that he discovered that the Molecule Man, Owen Reese, is actually a bomb. The Beyonders are the beings that created the multiverse, and they created it as kind of like an experiment. They just want to see what was going to happen. But they had a failsafe to destroy their experiment whenever they got bored with it, right? And that is Owen Reese. Owen Reese is a bomb that was in every single universe in the multiverse. And if Owen Reese were to explode in every single universe at the same time, that would destroy the entire multiverse instantly. Now, Doctor Doom discovers this, and he ends up going back in time and killing a variant of Owen Reese on a universe. That actually makes the first incursion happen. And so it's at this point that Doctor Doom realizes that he's going to have to go collect a bunch of Owen Reeses from throughout the multiverse to then confront the Beyonders with and use their own weapon against them. And so this whole time that the Illuminati of 616 is out there trying to stop the incursions, you've got the Ivory Kings, you've got the map makers, you've got all these different beings trying to stop the incursions in the multiverse. That whole time, Rabum Alal, the Great Destroyer, is going around destroying universes. He's taking versions of Owen Reese and he's collecting them all in the Library of Worlds to prepare to attack the Beyonders. And what's crazy is Stephen Strange is like, this is unthinkable, Victor. This is way crazier than I could have possibly imagined, but I'm down to help you out. I'll try to help out. Like, let's try to save the multiverse. So they all confront the Beyonders, and Doom ends up throwing all of these Owen Reeses at the Beyonders. It explodes, destroying them, but unfortunately, it also destroys most of the multiverse at that time. There were still like millions of universes at that point, and I think like it was basically down to a dozen after this, right? But in that moment, Doctor Doom takes all of the power of the Beyonders and he sort of like goes out there and tries to grab up all of the pieces of the universes that he can find, and he smashes them together on Battleworld. Now, another really interesting thing that's going on here is once Battleworld is created, Doom is just God. Like, he is the Beyonder for all intents and purposes. He is holding the entire Battleworld together, and Stephen Strange is the only other person that remembers what the multiverse was before. Everybody else just thinks this is always how the world has been. Doom is God. There's all of these different kingdoms. There's all these different places of the world, and that's just how things have always been. They don't remember their own individual universe. They remember Battleworld. And Stephen Strange helps Doctor Doom. He stays by his side, and together they rule Battleworld with this big inside secret. They know that this is a fake world, that Doom is a fake god, that this is not actually real. And eventually, other heroes and villains that survived the collapsing of the multiverse, they pop up on Battleworld. Doctor Strange has a change of heart. He ends up helping the heroes, betraying Doom. Doom kills him, and then eventually Doctor Doom is defeated. But the build-up and the setup here is absolutely freaking incredible. Okay, so how will this be replicated in the MCU? Why is Alex Perez hinting at all of this different stuff happening to build up Doctor Doom and RDJ Doctor Doom? Well, I think they're clearly going to make RDJ's Doctor Doom into Rabum Alal. And so perhaps Victor will already be Rabum Alal in the Fantastic Four movie. But either way, there are big time rumors that that movie's going to end with the destruction of that universe. And that is a huge motivating factor for a character like Doctor Doom to investigate why the universes are collapsing and being destroyed. But if they go the route of New Avengers 33, Doctor Doom will actually know why this universe was destroyed. And in fact, he might even be the inadvertent cause of that universe being destroyed. And maybe they'll do a thing where Victor was trying to prevent this from happening and ended up causing it. And then he goes out there into the multiverse to become Rabum Alal. Because even without his own universe, Doctor Doom would be super formidable. Doctor Doom is a badass, bro. And I also think setting up Rabum Alal, or the Great Destroyer, like somebody out there that's wiping out entire universes, and then making the 616 Avengers aware of that will be awesome. There are multiple ways that they could do this. Maybe Doctor Strange comes back from, his adventure with Clea, and literally there's a post-credit scene at the end of Captain America Brave New World, and Doctor Strange is explaining to everybody that we have to prepare. The Great Destroyer is coming. But either way, it feels like they're going to build up Rabum Alal as the Great Destroyer, and that will be revealed to be Doctor Doom, okay? And I think you're going to see that set up at the end of the Fantastic Four movie, maybe in the post-credit scene. But the other obvious, very important character to building this up will be Stephen Strange. I mean, Doctor Strange is already out there in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, going into different universes, causing incursions, studying the Darkhold, dream-walking into other realities. And there are big-time rumors that Doctor Strange 3 is going to involve the Black Priest, that Clea is working with the Black Priest, and she recruits Stephen Strange at the end of Doctor Strange 2 to go work with them. And that's where this just really all ties together, right? So a lot of people right now are speculating that Doctor Strange 3 could be a movie that comes out before Doomsday. And perhaps in that movie, we will get the setup of Rabum Alal. Rabum Alal could be the entire villain of Doctor Strange 3. He could be this multiversal demonic force wiping out entire universes, and Stephen Strange becomes aware of this, and he and the Black Priest are trying to stop it. And perhaps it'll lead to something similar to what happens in the comic books, where Doom, Rabum Alal, and the Black Swans end up wiping out the Black Priest, but they end up sparing Stephen Strange. Or Clea already works for Rabum Alal. She might be a Black Priest or a Black Swan, or maybe they're just combining those two entities and they're just gonna have Stephen Strange then go to work with Doctor Doom. Like, I could technically see a scenario in which we actually don't get Doctor Strange 3 before Doomsday, but this plot that I'm describing to you right now is actually in Doomsday. Like, we see the Clea, Doctor Strange thing, and Rabum Alal, and then them two destroying and shattering universes, as Alex Perez hinted at. Maybe that's a major element of Doomsday, okay? But it could also be Doctor Strange 3 if they somehow made that movie and had it come out before Doomsday. But I think the big clue here, the actual news, like the details of this plan from Kevin Feige and Marvel Studios, are being teased by Alex when he talks about New Avengers 33. Doom and Doctor Strange getting together and actually talking through the collapsing of the multiverse, what's actually happening. And I think in, the MCU, it'll probably be the anchor beings rather than the Molecule Man. And then maybe together, Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom start wiping out entire universes, or they grab up a bunch of the anchor beings to use against the Beyonders. But these are some pretty direct teases and hints as far as I'm concerned. Like, I think Rabum Alal, the Great Destroyer, Doctor Strange being involved in a lot of scenes between Doctor Doom and Doctor Strange are absolutely going to be the way that they end up building this up. Perhaps you start to get this built up in the Brave New World movie, and then in Thunderbolts, and then, of course, majorly set up in the Fantastic Four movie. And then you probably have a lot of those different characters all together in Doomsday. Remember that Doomsday is apparently a movie that has 65 different Marvel characters. We're going to be jumping around a lot of vignettes, a very multi-layered story. And I think Stephen Strange, Doctor Doom, and the actual truth about the collapsing of the multiverse is going to be a big part of that. I think this plan sounds great. Of course, I'm still interested to see how exactly it's adapted into the MCU. They have different characters, different sensibilities, and there's still a lot of questions about, like, is this a Tony Stark variant of Doctor Doom? Is it just Doctor Doom? Is that going to be explained at all? But hearing that they're going to adapt from Jonathan Hickman doing Rabum Alal, like, dude, again, that's fucking amazing. Like, that's exactly what they should be doing. And I do think fans will accept this. And if done right, they will build RDJ Doctor Doom to Thanos level in a very short period of time. Let me know your thoughts about this in the comment section below. And as I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video.